What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and today, my friends, I'm going to be showing you a build based around the Strikers gear set. Now, recently I've put out a few Strikers builds, and in a lot of the comments in those videos, many of you were saying you gotta try the thing out with the Police M4, put something together with that weapon. Well, my friends, I don't know why it took me so long to do so. I finally did, and the thing absolutely melts. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you can hit that like button as well. And remember, we are currently having a giveaway for an Xbox Series S. To enter, all you need to do is either subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced on April 4th of this year. One of the things I like to mention at the beginning of every build video I put together is I want to remind new and returning players that this is just a template. This is one of so many different ways you can run with the build. The most important thing is to truly take your time and make a build your own. You may take a look at this build and decide you want less armor, more weapon damage. You may decide, you know what, I don't want that talent on the chest, I'd rather use something else, or I don't like the talent on the weapon, this would work better for me. Again, really take your time, use this as kind of a baseline, and cater a build towards your game style. As always, I'm starting off with a little bit of game footage, then we're going to cut to the build itself, and then at the end of the video, as I always do, a little more footage, and I like to pass along a few tips to new and returning players, which should hopefully get you started anytime you're trying out a new build. Now, you can see from the game footage, I happen to be running one of my favorite missions, American History Museum, on Heroic, and you are just shredding NPCs. And one of the best things about this build, in my opinion, is the fact that regardless of the distance you are from an NPC, you're still putting out a lot of damage. This is great for solo or group play, and most importantly, it is a ton of fun to use. Starting off with the specialization, I'm using Gunner for a few different reasons. I really like the riot foam grenades. I like that you get that, 10% armor on kill. This also gives you the ability to use the Banshee Pulse if you want, and always remember, regardless of which specialization you choose, make sure you have the proper weapons activated in your weapon tree. That way you're always getting a 15% weapon damage bonus no matter what weapon you have equipped. My primary weapon for this build is the Police M4. Love the thing. It hits like a Mack truck. It has a base damage for me of 111.1. I just absolutely love it. You can see I've chosen the talent Ranger, and with that talent, it amplifies your weapon damage by 2% for every 5 meters you are away from your target. So once again, regardless of your proximity to any NPC, you are going to be getting a weapon damage bonus. For my secondary weapon, I have the Test Subject. Now, typically, I'm not going to run with 2 assault rifles. However, because I use this with random matchmaking and I could be thrown into any sort of group, I really like having the option of being able to switch to this weapon when I first join a group. As most of you know by now, you can be thrown into the middle of a firefight. This weapon could really come in handy at that point. Now, if you don't want to use this one, obviously, any secondary weapon here is fine. It's totally up to you. You can use a shotgun. You can use, a SMG. It's totally your call, my friends. My handgun for this build is the TDI card with the talent Close and Personal, which is one of my favorite talents in the game. To be honest, the M4 puts out so much damage, I really don't switch to anything else, but this is good to have just in case things get sideways. Now, moving on to the gear itself, you can see I'm running 4 Striker, 1 Fenris, and the Memento backpack, and in pretty much all of these pieces, I'm trying to stack crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can. Starting off with the mask, it's the first piece of Striker. We're using all 4 pieces so we get all of the gear set bonuses. The 2 piece gives you 15% weapon handling, the 3 piece is 15% rate of fire, and the 4 piece is Striker's Gamble, where weapon hits amplify total damage by 0.5%, stacking up to 50 times. And this thing, since they made the change a few title updates ago, whatever it was, it is an absolute, it's become one of my favorite gear sets to use without a doubt. Next, we have the body armor, which is the 1 piece of Fenris, so we get that 10% AR damage bonus. I've chosen the talent Obliterate, where critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 25 times. This thing is absolutely flawless for a build like this. Now, keep in mind, you do have other options. I know Intimidate is really popular. However, with that talent, you have to be within 10 meters of an enemy to get that weapon damage bonus. With Obliterate, it doesn't matter the distance between you and an NPC. You're getting that weapon damage bonus no matter what. Moving on to the holster, the knee pads, and the gloves, they are the 3 remaining pieces of the Striker's gear set. Now for this piece, I've chosen to reroll my core attribute to armor because I wanted a little more survivability, but again, it is up to you, my friends. Try out different things and see what balance works best for you. Finally, we have the backpack. I'm using the Memento because it's still one of my favorite exotics to use in the game without a doubt. Now, for those of you that do not have this bag as yet, I will make sure I leave a link to a farming video I put together on how to get the bag in the description down below. And again, if you don't have it, you have a lot of different options. You could use a piece of Walker and Harris, and a really popular talent for a build like this is Adrenaline Rush. For my skills, you can see I'm using the Crusader Shield just in case things get sideways. I'm also using the Assault Drone because it is a great distraction to NPC and puts out damage as well. As far as my stats are concerned, you can see I'm sitting at 52.5% crit hit chance, 104.8 crit hit damage, and that's all dependent on the gear that I have currently. So again, your numbers may be a little bit different, but again, I wanted you to see the type of damage you can put out with numbers like this. Now this happens to be the point in the video where I like to pass along a few tips to new and returning players, which should hopefully help you get started anytime you're trying out a new build. And the one thing I always recommend is go to a mission or control point or bounty, whatever it may be that you're familiar with. That way you know the timing of the NPC and you can truly see how the build responds to your gameplay. And in my opinion, that is when you can truly determine what you may want to change in the build. You may want to add more armor or take some away. You may want to change the talent on the weapon or the chest. Again, do not just copy and paste. Try out different variations and really build something that works around how you like to play the game. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family we have here at the channel. So as always, if you have any tips or tricks or ways you like to run with a build like this, please let us know in the comment section down below, as the main goal is to try to help out as many people as we can. With all that being said, I want to take a moment as always and thank you all for your continued support, and remind you, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you can hit that like button as well, but most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
Agent in need of backup.
Just lost the camera feed from the holding area. There was a bright flash and then static.
Looks like you got True Sun's reinforcements headed your way.
North or south side?
Both. Heavier concentration to the south.
With all those gates sealed, the north exit should be closer.